Satyam is India's fourth largest IT services firm with over 50,000 employees and operations in 66 countries. A new government-appointed board has taken over Satyam, but no one yet knows the true extent of the fraud. The scandal has not surprised Saurabh Mukherjee, the head of Indian equities at Noble. He reported last September that up to 100 of India's leading companies manipulate their accounts to flatter their financial performance.
In any capital market, there are three common safeguards, or three checks on a promoter: independent directors, auditors, and a financial regulator. Over the past 5 years, each of these three have been eroded in a very meaningful way in India. To take an example, auditors in India often do very large amounts of consultancy work for the firms they audit. That obviously creates a very powerful conflict of interest when it comes to doing a fair and proper audit.
PricewaterhouseCoopers was the auditor of Satyam. Its role is being scrutinized for negligence or connivance, as it gave Satyam clean bills of financial health. Ved Jain is the head of India's accounting regulator. He believes the country has enough institutional checks and balances, but to restore India's image, action must be taken quickly.
India has got very good regulations, good rules. All we need to do is implement it very quickly. In these type of cases, to avoid recurrence, we need to give expeditiously exemplary punishment.
With the spotlight now on corporate governance, brand India could be affected. Satyam was, after all, the first Indian technology firm to list on the Nasdaq, but the implications of this scandal could filter out across the entire industry.
Obviously, the aftermath of Satyam has spooked investors. We're getting at least a dozen queries a day from FIIs who want us to vet their portfolios. However, in the longer run and in the broader scheme of things, I think this will be seen as the beginning of India's market trying to cleanse itself, trying to reform itself.
India's top IT company, Infosys, is leading the way.
One example of what we have done is, as part of this quarterly result, actually we disclosed every single bank account we have, what balance we have with each of these banks, so that if an investor wants to verify, call up the bank and verify, they can indeed do that.
Companies are also proactively reassuring their clients and offering more financial information and disclosures if asked. This, they hope, will stop clients from pulling out. Meanwhile, industry body NASSCOM believes the future of outsourcing is strong despite the weakening economies in the West.
With the economic downturn, the need for the outsourcing, offshoring, leveraging the resource pool that India has is even more. The customers actually who do this, they understand that there have been across the world, whether in Japan, Europe, US, right, isolated cases of frauds. And this has to be treated like an isolated case.
In fact, Indian IT companies are now gearing up to cater to a changing global market, where budgets are being cut and costs trimmed.
The expectations from the market are changing. The type of services you need to deliver are changing. They're not buying discrete services, they're buying integrated solutions. Previously, the customer would say, I want to develop a Java application. Today, the customer would say, I want to reduce my inventory turns. I want to increase my sales.
It's clear that India's outsourcing firms cannot expect the kind of growth they are used to. Firms that grew at 35% a year will now have to be content with 12% growth. And in a global recession, India's outsourcers will have to tighten their belts and pray that no other scandal hits.